Tonight's special Thursday night draft night edition of the BS podcast, brought to you by SeatGeek, our presenting sponsor, and the easiest way to shop for the best tickets thanks to their revolutionary grading system. House, have you gone on SeatGeek and bought baseball tickets?
Dude,
yeah,
I'm a master of the two taps.
Okay, well, that's too bad because you're not a first-time SeatGeek user because you're smart enough to keep using SeatGeek. But if you are a first-timer, you get $10 off baseball tickets. Use promo code BSMLB. Download the SeatGeek app today or go right to SeatGeek.com. We're also brought to you by Carvana. Browse, buy, trade in, finance your next vehicle online from the comfort of your home. House, did you know you can buy cars from your house?
I did not know that.
You know you get next day delivery? Do you know you could just pick up your vehicle from the world's first coin-operated car vending machine? How is that even possible?
What are you talking? How many coins do you have to stick in that thing?
Wave bye-bye to buyer's remorse with their 7-day money-back guarantee. Go to Carvana.com/BS. Carvana.com/BS for the new way to buy a car. And we are brought to you by the Ringer NBA show and Teed Up, which is on the Ringer U. Both of our podcast feeds, both of which will have more draft coverage tomorrow. Check both of those out. Next week, let's break a little news, House. Next week, I will be doing promos for your new podcast. Oh yeah. House has a podcast. And guess what? And guess what the podcast is going to be about? Your favorite thing. People think it's basketball. No, it's not basketball. It's food. Joe House.
Yeah, I mean golf. I like golf, but
you
that's
do like
not
golf.
My favorite thing.
You love basketball. You love golf. You love your family. You love a couple of your friends, and most of all, you love food and eating and eating.
I really
food.
love food.
So your new podcast that we're launching next week, which I'm not going to give away the name yet, but I'm excited about the name. It is all about food, and the reason we did this is because we argued about the Ringer's top 50 food list for 35 minutes, and honestly, it was like watching Paul Thomas Anderson put together a movie. That was the level of art/genius I felt like you displayed. We all felt that way, and we were all like, let's give House a Food podcast. So get ready next week. Details to come on my Twitter feed, on the Ringer's Twitter feed, on our Facebook page, and the whole thing. Subscribe to it, and the House podcast will be launching next week. Congratulations, House. You're now a double podcast host. You have Shaq House, and then you also have a food podcast. You're like a podcast host. I don't know what's going on with you.
I'm humbled. I'm honored, and I'm hungry.
Well, Pearl Jam has a song for you, so let's play that. All right. We're doing draft winners and losers right now. Taping this, it is 7:07 Pacific time, Thursday night. We're going to put this up as fast as we possibly can, but we're going to do some winners and losers for the draft. And so the draft, it was weird. It went chalk in a lot of ways. It was also ridiculous and had some of the dumber moments we've seen in a while. Had some picks that I liked, had some picks that I did not like. All in all, a roller coaster ride. And it started out with a bombshell. I have not talked to you. We've deliberately avoided each other. Minnesota and Chicago made a trade. Minnesota traded Chris Dunn, Zach LaVine, the 7th pick, and they got back Jimmy Butler in the 16th pick. I'm going to give you my reaction first. I think everyone on the Bulls should be fired. Everybody, like not even people that weren't involved. People that weren't involved with the trade, all of them should. They just clean house, get rid of the entire organization. I don't know how many people are working for them. The stench of this trade is going to infect the entire organization. Just start over now. Press the reset button. Just put all your jobs on ZipRecruiter because this is one of the dumbest trades I can remember. Jimmy Butler is, I don't know, somewhere between the 13th and 16th best player in the league. House, was this the poo-poo platter?
It's way worse than the poo-poo platter. I'm not sure what the equivalent is. I mean, that's like you're in the Chinese food restaurant. You have the wonderful menu in front of you. there's a whole array. There's a buffet maybe in front of you, and you say, I'm out. I'm gonna head over to. I don't want to disrespect any restaurants, but I'm gonna head to the Sonic. I'm gonna go have a super sugar icy at Sonic. F you, poo-poo platter.
Ugh.
It's abysmal. It's astonishing. I wondered. The only thing I could come up with in trying to fathom an explanation or rationale is that the Bulls were insistent on getting Butler out of the East. They couldn't do any deals with any team in the East because they didn't want to see the wrath of Jimmy come back and haunt them. But that's obviously a very stupid reason.
Or they're trying to be maybe they're trying to be dicks, and they just kind of exiled him to Minnesota. They're like, the Minnesota's better, but good luck being in Minnesota. That might have been part of it.
I don't know. I mean, it's an up and coming team. It's an exciting team. He's going to get a lot of exposure in the West. These are great. You're going to be. It's a league pass must see team now.
I'm just trying.
And they kind of already were that.
I'm just trying to figure out why a team would do something this dumb. So here are my reactions in stages. So it comes out initially that it's Butler, and you could have guessed it. Once it was like when Chicago, Minnesota's talking, and I'm thinking like, oh man, they're going to be able to get Jimmy Butler for Chris Dunn, Zach LaVine, who has a torn ACL, and the 7th pick in a draft where everybody really likes 6 players, and then it kind of drops off to the next 5 or 6. So it's not even going to be one of the 6. And I'm like, the Celtics can't top that, really? So then the trade happens. Then it turns out Chicago's also sending the 16th pick to Minnesota. I already hated the trade for Chicago. Now they're losing the 16th
malpractice.
pick. And it's like,
that's malpractice.
Yeah, this is now really terrible. And then they're up at pick 7. It's like, well, at least they'll salvage this. They'll take a franchise point guard potential guy like Dennis Smith or Frankie Nicotine or my man Malik Monk, who I think is going to be better than people realize. No. They took Lauri Markkanen. With the 7th pick.
You mean the Finnish Andreas Bargnani? Is that who they took?
They took Lauri Markkanen, and Jalen's doing these player comps that I actually helped him with over the weekend. And Jalen's player comp for him was Channing Frye. And he's like, obviously he'll be a little better than Channing Frye. I'm like, I sure hope so. They gave up Jimmy Butler for him. Oh, my God.
And by the way, who says he's going to be better than Channing Frye?
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. He could be Andrea Bargnani. That's who he's the Finnish Andrea Bargnani.
Yeah.
The Finnish Bargs. That's what I'm calling him.
So, you and I love judging all of these prospects by could they have played in the finals I just watched. I honestly don't know how he plays in the finals I just watched. Because if he's out there, Cleveland, let's say he's on Cleveland, Golden State's going to be like, we're running him we're running high screens with his guy until they take him out. We're just going to, these are free 2 points every time until he's out of the game.
Are we talking about that big chicken? He can't be on the floor with either one of those teams. He's the 14th or 15th man on both of those teams.
So
he doesn't see the floor.
I mean, I'm not saying he's horrendous. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not either.
I'm for the 7th pick in what might be the best draft in the last 20 years. I need somebody who could have played for 3 minutes in the finals. That's all I'm asking for.
To me, the reason that I'm being what sounds like hypercritical is because they got Jimmy effing Butler. They gave up Jimmy effing Butler for him. What are we talking about?
Well, and also,
go ahead.
I was just going to say I'm reasonably confident that a trade of similar value might have been there next month and 2 months from now and 5 months from now because there are lots of teams willing to give them a shitty trade for Jimmy Butler. Chris Dunn was horrible last year, and he's 23. I'm not going to completely write him up. He's 23 years old already, and he was really terrible last year, like really bad, like shockingly, horribly bad. And Zach LaVine, it's probably a bad sign the Timberwolves got better as soon as he got hurt. I don't know. I don't know about what the cause and effect was, but he's a good stats, bad team guy. We don't know if he can play defense. We're not sure if he can be a swingman who's on a good team, and now he has a torn ACL. And then they have Channing Frye 2.0, and that was the entire trade. And they gave up the 16th pick.
That's just malpractice.
I'm trying to.
But look, you did raise an interesting point.
Yeah.
If Jimmy Butler was available for so little,
yeah.
Where are the Boston Celtics?
I know, it hurt my
feelings.
feelings.
Where were the Boston Celtics?
My fear is that they were in this Paul George trade quagmire, and thinking that they put their eggs in the Paul George indie basket, and then it didn't work out, and then Jimmy Butler just went sailing. So,
is Paul George still out there?
Well, he hasn't been traded yet. Look, I'm not going to defend the Celtics because I'm officially furious that everybody else is making trades. But I do think when the cap went down, it made it almost impossible for them to be able to fit. If they really think they're getting Gordon Hayward, and indications seem to be pretty positive on that front, I don't know if they could have fit Hayward and Butler in the same salary cap with Al Horford and Isaiah in a year and all this stuff. I think it's almost like they had to pick at that point. That's the only explanation I could get for why we wouldn't want Jimmy Butler on my team house.
I just want to convey my resentment on something you just said, which is, that all indications are pointing towards the Celtics getting Hayward. I don't like that kind of BS. I know that you got the insider and the insider scoop and everything, but I haven't seen any stories that say that Hayward is going to Boston. Where's that coming from?
What, do you think I can't have an unsubstantiated opinion with no evidence whatsoever? Why aren't I allowed to do that? It's a podcast. That's the whole point of a podcast.
It is 2017.
Listen, all my evidence goes down to the fact that Brad Stevens was the first guy to recruit Gordon Hayward in high school and stuck with him. And then when Gordon Hayward had to go, the whole Mark Titus theory and the whole thing, I'm in.
Well, I resent your entitlement.
Thank you.
And mainly I'm pissed because the effing Wizards can't do anything.
Because you signed Jan Mahimny. Yeah, you signed Jan Mahimny.
My team is irrelevant right now, and I don't like it.
Well, there was like 11 teams last summer who were like, "Oh, the cap's going up. Basketball's crazy. We get to spend whatever money we want." And now the cap went backwards. Whoops. Sorry about that. Hey.
Well, that's because there was no playoff games. There was no David Stern to rig the series.
Tate Frazier, who hosts Teed Up on the Friday, is going to be hosting it tomorrow, but he's been producing my podcast since day one, and he watches more college basketball than just about anybody I know. I'm going to give him 20 seconds here to talk about Lauri Markkanen. Maybe we're wrong. Are we wrong?
I don't think Lauri Markkanen's gotten a rebound in traffic his entire career.
Okay.
His entire life.
Is that a problem?
That doesn't sound like a positive.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. I think his dad's better than he is, and that's not good either. So
finish Channing Frye?
Yeah.
Would you? Is it fair to say he's going to be better than Kelly Olynyk, right? Can we say that definitively or no?
Kelly Olynyk won in Game 7. I don't think Lauri Markkanen's winning a Game 7. He doesn't have the
bitch.
He doesn't have the fire.
That hurts, House.
Yeah, I'm sorry, House. I forgot that. Yeah,
House,
that was too much. That was too much.
The crowd was chanting Kelly. It was the best.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to bring that up.
SMD.
So you think he might not be as good as Kelly Olynyk?
I don't think he has the fire that Kelly Olynyk has.
What does Titus think?
Titus thinks that he has what everyone
Upside.
says he has upside. I think he has. I think he's can hit threes, and obviously he gets compared to Dirk, but he just doesn't.
Everyone needs to bite their tongue on that one. How dare everyone?
Yeah,
Dirk.
I saw that. That was
Oh my
ludicrous.
God.
It's a lazy
I was
comparison.
outraged by that.
Oh my God.
Dirk
not
who?
that guy.
Dirk Diggler? Does he have a long one? Is that what we're talking about? What are we talking about? Get out of here. By the way, we can't let Tate go because we have, the highs and lows of Charlotte in the last 24 hours.
Oh, let's make them a winner. Let's do that right now. I have winner.
There's a winner and a loser.
So I have two winners here. One winner, Charlotte, because they were all ready to take the white guy from Gonzaga just because MJ sees tall white guys and he just he shoots one in his pants. He can't.
He really
he can't wait.
He does it.
He loves those tall white guys. And then there was a magical trade, which we'll get to in a second. 10 for 15 and 20. Anyone who's ever read me or listened to my podcast can probably guess my feelings on trading down from 10 for 15 and 20 and 10-player draft. But we're going to get to that. So they take Collins, and magically, wonderfully, my third or fourth favorite player in this great draft, Malik Monk, falls to the Charlotte Hornets. Tate Frazier finally getting a break.
It was beautiful.
Finally, a fun Hornet.
Yeah.
When was the last fun Hornet?
No, I mean, Lance Stevenson was the last fun Hornet, and
Oh,
that was
how
horrible.
sad is that?
Yeah, it was terrible. They've been trying to get a shooter since 2014. They took Hairston that year, PJ Hairston. That was a disaster. He's not even in the NBA anymore.
The last fun Hornet was Larry Johnson. I'm not even sure you were alive.
Yeah, exactly. Now,
House
yeah.
and I can. House, you can vouch. Larry Johnson on the Hornets.
What about
was-
Jamal Mashburn, Baron Davis?
Baron Davis was a
Grandma
fun
Moss.
Hornet. Okay, that's fair. Baron
Baron
Davis was
Davis.
fun. So
But wait, I have a question for Tate. What are you going to do the first time the story comes out about Dwight Howard farting on Monk?
I don't care. I don't care. Dwight Howard, I'm so happy that they have a superstar. I don't care if he's 10 years removed from being
Dwight's
good.
back.
I'm all in.
you haven't read the Steve Clifford's The Dwight Whisperer House?
Yes.
Yeah, there's all kinds of Dwight Whisperer stuff with it. So
Defense first.
it's a double whammy in a good way for Tate because all of us love Malik Monk. You saw Malik Monk in Vegas. Tate, who
Yep.
hates everyone who doesn't play for North Carolina, came back raving.
Yeah,
About
47
Malik
points.
Monk.
I've
He
never
was
seen anything like it.
He hates all other colleges. He hates Kentucky and was raving about Malik Monk.
I said he's the number one pick, and he ended up going 11 in the Hornets. I never would have guessed that.
You would have, if I had told you when you came back raving about Malik Monk, he's going to be on your team in June, you would have passed out.
I would have thought it was a reverse jinx, and he was going to end up on the Celtics number 3. You know, that's what I'd have thought.
So not only does he get Malik Monk, who is going to be immensely fun, and who now I'm making him a winner as well because he dropped to 11 and he was upset about it. House, what's the history?
Yeah, I love that.
What's the history of guys dropping 4 or 5 spots lower than they thought they were going to go, and then maybe taking it out on some of the teams ahead of them? Oh, it's storied.
I mean.
It's a storied history, House.
Storied history.
And then Calipari comes on because of I'm making them a loser, by the way. ESPN loser. John Calipari, not only did they do the 2-hour infomercial for him, which made it seem like it was the greatest school ever to go to, Kentucky, which I think is why he would participate in 30 for 30 because it becomes a recruiting infomercial for him. Then they put him on the draft because we haven't pushed Calipari and the whole power of Calipari when I'm done enough on the worldwide leader. But he mentioned how disappointed he was that the New York Knicks passed on Monk. Did you see that part? And he said, man, I just thought you put him in New York with that crowd or whatever he said. And so that means him and Monk have talked about that. And they must have had a whole, oh man, the Knicks, oh, that would be unbelievable. And then the Knicks pass on him for some guy from France. A French guy.
It's definitely for the best. It's definitely for the best for Monk. I mean, the only way Monk makes sense in New York is if Phil is gone or dead. And I'm not a Knicks fan,
and both
so
are already
I'm just
true.
rooting for him to be gone.
He's already gone and dead. So I'm also
Poor Knicks
making
fans.
I'm making a winner Tate Frazier because not only did he get Monk, but it paves the way for them to get rid of Kemba Walker, his least favorite Hornet. Now you can't have both of those guys. Monk is. It's like bringing the hot blonde for the
too small,
for
too small
the
in the backcourt.
older blonde.
Yeah, trade Kemba to the Knicks.
Bye, Kemba. All right. House, final thoughts on Malik Monk and MJ and Dwight Howard and Charlotte and the whole thing?
I'm actually kind of mad because Charlotte is competition for my Washington
for the
almost
Wizards.
bullets. And
Yeah.
I think they got better. I'm afraid.
All right.
Yeah.
Loser. Who was the new ESPN sideline reporter? Allison Williams. She interviewed Markel Fultz, and I'm almost positive she called him Kyle at the end of the interview. She said, "Thank you, Kyle." I'm almost positive. I'm like 99.9% sure. We were Twitter searching it to see if other people noticed, and some other people did, but I'm pretty sure she called her Kyle. Now, I'm the loser if I'm wrong, so either I'm a loser for this or she's a loser, but I think she did call him whatever.
It wasn't trying to be like, all right, thanks, Kel. Like she was trying to do
Like Kel? Do the people call him Kel?
Well, maybe she was trying to start.
I
it.
don't know.
Kel? All right,
maybe
we'll
she's
give her.
trying to start
It'd be great if she just said Mark. Thanks, Mark.
You know, like Magic used to call you Beal.
B-U. No, he called me B-U. We had 3. It was like 3 syllables. B-U.
Yeah.
Winner. The Philadelphia 76ers. They have now drafted 3rd, 1st, and 1st. They got the guard they needed who can do everything. I'm still a little curious why the Celtics cooled off on him. I vow to get that story over the next 6 months, but On paper, it looks great. Everyone's excited. I'm not going to be a dick and point out that Embiid's played 31 games in 3 years and Ben Simmons missed all last year, because I'm as excited for this as anybody if we can get these guys actually on the court to play basketball. House, I know you're excited, correct?
I'm thrilled. The stretch of like 15 games when Philly was super competitive.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who they were playing against. And Embiid was at the height of his powers. It was really effing fun to watch.
It really was. It was, dare I say, must-watch TV. I felt like I was watching them over the Celtics. when Embiid was going and it was a close game, I'm like, I was just watching Embiid. I don't even care about my team. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it was just the home games. I liked watching them at home.
Hey, go check out theringer.com today, because we put a Sam Hinkie video game up that was drawing rave reviews. It's really great. And if you don't think he's driving an actual tank at one point, oh, you're sorely mistaken. Quick break. Do you love books but don't have time to read them? House, you love books. There's no way you read books anymore. You don't have any time, right?
I don't have time for books, but I do love books.
Well, Audible has the perfect solution. Get audiobooks and listen at the gym during commutes, watching basketball on mute, or when you're driving home from dinner drunk in an Uber like you do every night. You know who uses Audible? The Simmons fam. My wife and daughter use it on long commutes. They love it. And guess what? Audible just launched its first ever binge listening event.
Oh.
Sorry, when you hear the word binge, you think of eating, so I didn't mean to throw you off on that, but
It's
a binge listening event. If Audible launched a binge eating event, you would be right there. But you're invited to binge on great listens and big savings with Audible's biggest sale ever. Enjoy all the benefits of Gold Audible membership, celebrity narrated Audible books, new podcasts and audio shows, exclusive content, and more. Join now. Get a year of Audible for just $99. It's a $50 savings. Sale ends June 28th. Learn more at audible.com/binge. Binge has been big in the Ringer lately because we have binge mode Game of Thrones. Mallory and Jason Concepcion are basically doing a podcast for every episode that's ever happened for Game of Thrones. And Mallory's starting to wear down like an actual Game of Thrones character, like Jon Snow. Like she's turning into a White Walker from all the preparation, all that. So the least you guys could do is listen to the Binge Mode podcast. All right. Another winner, LeVar Ball. You know, a little polarizing. You could see like the contempt from Wilbon when they interviewed him after the draft. And my Uncle Mike, I could just tell he wanted to go off, but he was reining himself in because it was, you know, this great moment for Lonzo. I'm going the other way. I like LeVar Ball. I think he's funny. I think
I'm right there with you.
He's as much of a character / parody as a lot of people in sports right now. I'll leave it at that. And he called his shot. He was calling Lakers from the get-go. He was like Babe Ruth in whatever World Series that was. He was telling us for months and months that Lonzo was going to play for the Lakers, and then it happened. Thumbs up. LeVar Ball, you're a winner in my mind.
Yeah, he's like to me, an uber Papa Bear. He has created this cocoon for his boy to comfortably slide in, and Lonzo doesn't have to say anything.
Yeah.
Papa Bear's out there waving around his arms, showing his teeth, sticking his head inside the tent, and Lonzo's just chilling behind. I like that. I'm good with that Papa Bear role.
Lonzo has the same look that I can't wait for my kids to have in about 10 years, where they're just, he has that look like, hey, my dad's crazy. I mean, he's just a nut job. What do you want from me? I love him. He's my dad, but I know he's crazy. Like, just, I get it. Yeah, you know, it's one of those. It's really like how I've been with my mom for the last 20 years. When any dinner with my mom, when the second bottle of wine comes, I have the same look that Lonzo Ball has all the time.
Your mom makes great meatballs. I'm not saying a bad thing about your mom.
I don't know if this was a winner or loser, but did you see Markelle Fultz's jacket?
I only saw it on the Twitter.
He had a very elaborately done what was on that jacket, Tate?
He had like
all drawings
family
of family
pictures. Then he had like the Washington Husky, I think. There was everything in his life. He said it was his life story in a jacket.
So I love the sentiment behind it, but why have it on the inside of the jacket?
And he took it off to show it, and it was like
Yeah.
this weird process, and then
So then it goes in your closet. It's on a coat hanger and it's closed the whole time.
and you can't see anything.
Make the jacket. Put all the stuff on the
Yeah,
outside.
flip it inside out.
I think I'm making that a loser. I'm making the idea of the jacket a winner, but putting all the good stuff on the inside, I'm making that a loser. I didn't agree with it.
Yeah. Execution loser.
Winner, Tibbs.
Oh my God.
Tibbs somehow got Jimmy Butler. Tibbs had the 7th pick in a draft that had 6 short things plus Malik Monk. Decided that he didn't want to take Malik Monk. And just flipped everything into Jimmy Butler. And God bless him. Tibbs. So they have Towns. They have Jimmy Butler. They have Andrew Wiggins. They have Rubio. They have a couple bench players that I like. I'm not ready to do the whole, you see them in the Western Finals thing, but it's a fun team. They're going to be able to play defense. If Towns can protect the rim and step it up a level and they get one more vet, I don't know. I like that team. What do you think, House?
They need to play defense.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, a winner-loser question. What do you think Andrew Wiggins, how he fares at this? Is he a winner or a loser with Jimmy Butler coming
Oh, he's
down?
a winner because Andrew Wiggins just plays 2 guard and Butler plays the 3. He's good. He
Well,
doesn't
I
have to
get
guard
where
Paul
they're
George.
going to play.
What?
Are there enough balls to go around?
Yeah, he loses shots.
Yeah, he loses shots, but I'm fine with that. I think if you're ever going to actually win anything, Andrew Wiggins has to be the 3rd best offensive player in your team. If he's 1 or 2, you're not winning anything. So now Towns and Butler are the 2 best, and now Wiggins is an overqualified 3rd guy, which is great. You know, he was kind of an underqualified 2nd guy, but he's an overqualified 3rd guy. You know,
Isn't this the perfect team
Yeah.
as constructed for Ricky Rubio?
Yeah, Ricky Rubio was good the last 2 months. I don't know why they keep trying to trade him. I still think, as amazing as this sounds, Ricky Rubio is still like 26. I think he's like 3 years older than Chris Dunn. But you know, you have an overqualified 3rd guy, Jan Mahinmi.
Who?
No, Jan Mahinmi. I think
that's
he's
so
overqualified. By the way, I haven't talked.
So
I haven't congratulated you on the podcast yet that your team didn't trade for Dwight Howard. Congratulations.
I tweeted how relieved I was. I was worried. You know, you caught me at a very vulnerable moment that Saturday afternoon. I was so hungover.
Yeah.
And we were talking we were talking NBA Finals. We had to get one together, and I just let it slip that I was in my head. I could imagine a world where Dwight Howard might come to Washington, and
then
I got killed for it on the Twitter properly, and I'm glad that it didn't work out.
You got killed on it because
Because he's Dwight Howard.
people were upset that you even deigned to mention it. Got it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
loser, me and my dad, right as they're picking Jason Tatum, a pick that I actually liked, the Celtics. It was like 2 minutes after Woj tweeted that the Celtics were in serious talks for Paul George, and instead of just enjoying the fact that the Celtics drafted a highly skilled offensive player who can score, who is just a very good scorer, who is going to end up being somewhere between Danny Granger, Paul Pierce. Like, he's in that class. I'm not going to say he's the next PP.
What?
I
can't say that.
I just said I'm not going to say he's the next PP. But he was certainly better
You
as
just
a...
used those 2 names. You said Granger and Pierce. Both those guys were all-stars.
Yeah, I think this guy's going to be an all-star. I think he's an elite
He's
scorer.
better than Jahlil Okafor? You think he's better than Jahlil Okafor?
How dare that's
Yes.
just that's awful. Why would you say that? Why would you even think that?
Comparable position. They both got drafted.
I
Both
urge-
same school. I mean, what do you want me to do?
Go look at Paul Pierce's freshman year at Kansas and tell me how it compares to my man Tatum. I like Tatum. I would have been happy with Tatum or Jackson. I think, it's funny. We get, when MVP time, remember everyone's arguing about the MVP for months and months. And people were picking, when the people were making the case for Harden or Westbrook, and it's basically an all offense case. And then there was that, remember there were the people picking Kawhi, like he's the best 2-way player. And then there was the backlash to those people. And it's like, look, offense is more important than defense. This is an offense league now. I'm valuing offense more than defense. I don't care about defense as much. So then the Celtics pick somebody who's great at offense and who really has a chance to be an elite guy. but not as good at defense. Maybe he'll end up being passable or better than passable, whatever. Right now, he's like, I think he's average. He's got big wingspan. He'll be fine. He's not a liability. But Josh Jackson's a great two-way player. But the only thing is Josh Jackson can't shoot. Well, doesn't shooting matter in basketball? All we watch are people making outside shots now. I'm glad the Celtics took the offensive guy over another guy who's this great athlete who the one thing they can't do is figure out how to put the ball in the basket. What did you think?
I totally agree. I mean, I know that I'm often chastised for agreeing with you too much.
Yes.
But the Celtics at that slot, if you're going to pick a guy and keep the 3-hole, then Tatum's the guy. I think that made the most sense.
If we had taken Jackson, I think it might have killed my dad in like December, just at the game. I think that would have been it. He would have killed over. Like between Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, and Josh Jackson, just none of those guys you ever think the ball is going to go in when they're shooting. Jaylen sometimes you can see he's getting hot, but I'm just so glad they picked somebody that we can throw him the ball down low and he can just do a spin move on the baseline and score, or just a quick pull-up shot. Like he's got tricks already. He's 19. And he's a fantastic free throw shooter. And he gets to the line and he converts and he just knows what he's doing. He's a good kid. I like the pick. And, of course, right as they pick him, there's a Paul George. Oh, House, we got a big trade. The Jazz moved up to 28 and gave the Lakers 30 and 42. Breaking news right here. So...
Can we I want to talk about that Kings thing. That made me mad.
No, hold on. We're getting to it.
Speaking of trading down.
I'm trying to go in order.
All right.
Loser. Josh Jackson seems sad. I got a sad vibe from Josh Jackson. It wasn't quite as Steve Francis getting drafted by Vancouver when Steve Francis kept looking up and rolling his eyes during the interview and it looked like he was going to start sobbing. It wasn't that bad, but I didn't feel like Josh Jackson was ready to really tear it up in Arizona. What did you think?
I'm surprised by that sort of reaction. I agree. Why there's cheering? What's happening?
Tay was excited because
Tony Bradley.
North Carolina's Tony Bradley just went to Utah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Hey, Tate, the adults are talking right now.
Yeah, Tate, go back to the kids' table.
I think that Phoenix is a great situation. I would like to go
too.
play in Phoenix right now. It's super fun.
Well, I think what happened is I think he got a whiff of New York possibilities and Porzingis and like a whole mega deal and started to think about the Knicks. And that could be my only explanation. I'm with you. If I'm Josh Jackson, good fan base, nice young team, a crunch time dude in Devin Booker who's going to be special. He can go do Josh Jackson things. And I was talking to one of my basketball friends today. If Dominique is a 10 out of 10 on the in-game dunker scale, and James Worthy's an 8.5.
Yeah.
Josh Jackson I might put him a smidge over James Worthy. He might be he might end up being a 9 out of 10 on the in-game dunking on people scale. I think he's going to dunk on lots of people. And
wow,
if he's doing that and playing defense and Devin Booker's taking all the shots, that's fun. I hope he's happy to go there because I think that's the right team for him. I'm not sure Boston would have been the right team for him.
Boston would have been terrible for him.
Well, also because they had a lot of swing guys too. You know, I'm not sure. In Phoenix, he'll play. He'll just get minutes. He's a fascinating prospect. I did a lot of research on him because it seemed like the Celtics might take him at one point, and just seems like an alpha dog by all accounts. Just an alpha dog, just competitive as hell. Just wants to win at everything. Goes full tilt all the time. Tate hates Kansas more than he hates cancer, and even Tate kind of respected Josh Jackson.
I don't hate Kansas more than cancer.
All right, he hates cancer the most, but Kansas is a close second. But you
Athleticism.
respected Josh Jackson.
Yes, incredible. Spin moves, dunks, left hand, right hand, around the basket, anything you want.
That's how you know this was a good draft, because Tate actually likes some of the players, and they played for schools that he detests with every fiber of his body. Who took Swanigan? Swanigan.
Trailblazers.
Swanigan. Swanigan.
Swanigan.
Who took Swanigan?
Trailblazers.
Staskis.
Noah Vonleh. Goodbye.
Wow, Trailblazers.
Yeah. Good fit.
Titus loved him.
He's the best.
Yeah.
Almost broke David Robinson's double-double record.
Throw him the ball, and he'll do some old school low post game. De'Aaron Fox is a winner, and not just because he gets to run his own team in Sacramento, and I think he would have been happy everywhere he goes, but he was just a big personality winner of this draft, right? It just seems like the greatest guy. Fantastic interview, great charisma, great energy, just a happy, competitive guy. And like they asked him about, hey, you played better than Lonzo before the draft. Hey, you really outplayed Lonzo in the tournament, and he's probably going to go ahead of you. How does that make you feel? And he's like, doesn't matter, man. We all have our NBA team, and I'll see him during the season. But you could tell it bothered him. I love De'Aaron Fox. I think he's going to be. He reminds me of your dude John Wall. How about that?
Definitely speed-wise. I love Fox also. He's got a nice leadership quality to him. That's what I think. And, especially Sacramento could use a guy who touches the ball, has the ball in his hands all the time with a little bit of a leadership instinct. That would be nice for a change in Sacramento.
And it's hard to – I think about that tournament, and one of the enduring images is him and Monk crying after the game in the locker room. And Fox was so upset when they lost. Like it's my daughter's soccer coach said this to me once. He was always like, look who's crying after the game. Those are the kids that are going to make it. I thought that was a good way to put it. If you're crying after the game, that means you gave a shit, which means you probably gave a shit during the game, and when it matters that much, that's how you're going to live your professional career. And he just strikes me as one of those guys. That guy's just he wants to be great. I don't know if he's going to be great, but he's going to kill himself trying. Perfect pick for the Kings. Unfortunately, they're also the losers. Now we get to talk about it, House. Actually,
good.
Let's give this a sponsor. Let's bring in stamps.com, because the Kings put their stamp on yet another terrible Kings trade. They traded 10 for 15 and 20, but stamps.com, convenient, easy, reliable, flexible, my favorite words to describe stamps.com. House, you don't go to the post office, right?
No. Stamps.com, winners and losers. Stamps.com, winner.
Stamps.com, winner. Avoid the post office. Buy and print official U.S. postage with your own computer and printer. You don't have to wait in line. Just hand your packages to your own mailman right outside your house. Do you have a mailman? Do they have mailman in D.C., House?
They do. A guy comes right in the building. I like to give him my packages.
Yeah? Okay. Well, sign up with Stamps.com. Any letter, any package, any class of mail, you're in control of all of it. Stamps.com will send you a digital scale that automatically calculates exact postage and helps you decide the best class of mail. And right now, use my code BS for the special offer of a 4-week trial plus postage plus a digital scale without long-term commitments. And if you use code BS, you also are allowed to trade down from 10 in a 10-player draft for 15 and 20. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in BS. Do not type in, that was a terrible Kings trade. Type in BS. That's Stamps.com, enter BS. Sign up today, Stamps.com, never go to the post office again. Just take Malik Monk at 10. Just take him. Don't overthink it. This isn't football. You're not trading from 20 to 30, you're picking up 32 and 68. Like, this is a 10-player draft. You trade down if you're the Celtics and you feel like there are 4 great players and you don't care which player you get and you get to pick up an extra asset. This is different. They traded down. They took Tate's dude, Justin Jackson, who I'm not sure is ever a starter. And then they took Harry Giles, who's had 2 major knee surgeries already and has a huge injury risk. How about this? Just take Malik Monk, who's going to be, worst case scenario, he's a better Lou Williams. Worst case scenario.
And the guys get to play together.
And they get to play together. They're boys. Take the Kentucky boys.
Take the Kentucky boys. The point is to put a product on the floor that your fans can get behind. What's more exciting than those 2 guys from Kentucky? They were by far, without a doubt, incomparable in college basketball.
They were so much fun to watch.
Basketball this season. Right.
You know what else is a good idea? To take 2 lottery picks in the most loaded draft in 20 years from the college that just deliver stars in the lottery year after year after year after year. All Kentucky does is deliver stars to the NBA. And you could have had the two guys that love playing together, and that could have been your backcourt with Buddy Hield. They could have had Fox, Monk, and Buddy. They could have.
How much fun is that?
I love that team. I would have. But on the other hand, as a Celtics fan, I'm happy the Kings went Kings on us again because we have their unprotected pick probably in 2019. You know what I would have loved for them to do? Trade out of that spot and pick Justin Jackson and Harry Giles. So thanks, Kings. Winner, Celtic fans. Why not just take Fox and Monk? Tate,
Yes.
if you had to bet your life on, like you're betting your life on the draft. I always do this. You're betting your life on this.
Yes.
This is a life wager.
My life has been on the line a lot this
You're
week.
like, yeah, you're being dangled from a skyscraper by terrorists. And they're like, this has to work out or we're dropping you. 10th pick. You already have De'Aaron Fox on your team. Now you have to take another player, or you could trade down and take two flyers on two guys that aren't in the top 10.
Yes.
Or you could just take the guy Malik Monk who scored 47 points in a college game and made a bunch of big shots and has a chance to be one of the best heat check guys.
And already has a year under his belt playing with the point guard he just drafted, right?
Yeah, and has 25-foot range in a sport that has just drifted to threes.
Yeah.
And has a chance to win like 5 3-point contests and the whole thing. What would you do?
Just draft him.
You draft
Take
Monk.
the best player available. I think they wanted Giles, but they don't want to take him that early.
And they're like, oh, we got Harry Giles. He was the best player in high school 3 years ago. Yeah, and then he tore his ACL twice. I'm rooting for Harry Giles.
I mean, the thing.
Same.
Of course. The thing that's confounding is, like, this is a simple math problem. I mean, I know that your boy Daryl Morey has a value, and by now it's. I think everybody is plugged into this. You know what level of success to expect out of the 15 hole and the 20 hole.
Yeah.
And it's nowhere near. It doesn't even approximate within 3 orders of magnitude what you can get out of the 10 hole. So I just don't get it.
Every draft drops, which is why I like 98, which was one of the probably my favorite draft just from a pure excitement standpoint, when the Celtics had the 10th pick and it felt like it was an 8-player draft and we needed two teams to screw up, and then Tractor Trailer and White Chocolate went ahead of when they should have gone. And all of a sudden, we're heading into the 9th pick, and Dirk Nowitzki and Paul Pierce are still on the table. And we're just over the moon. It's like, this shouldn't happen with the 10th pick in an 8-player draft. Next pick was Bonzi Wells, Mike Doliak. It just drops. Every draft drops off. This draft dropped off at number 11 after Malik Monk got picked. And then you're in the Luke Kennard, all these guys. I mean, maybe Luke Kennard will be good. Tate says, you have the Luke Kennard, Donovan Mitchell. All of a sudden, we're in the combo guard section of our draft. They're combo guards. They play both guard spots. Combo guards. Randy Foye, combo guard. Grievous Vasquez, combo guard. They can play either spot. Well, do they play either of them well? No, they can play either spot. I actually do like Mitchell. I don't want to down Mitchell. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do, House. We've been watching the draft forever. Sometimes you just know when somebody's making a mistake, and when you have the 10th pick and you can put Monk and Fox together. I feel bad for Riley McAtee, who works for the Ringer, diehard Kings fan. And what's the syndrome you have when you start to identify with your hostages?
Stockholm
syndrome. I was going to say Munchausen syndrome, but that's way worse. Stockholm syndrome.
That's a different one.
Riley has NBA Stockholm syndrome. He was like excited.
Yeah, he thought Justin.
He's like, oh, we got Justin Jackson and Harry Giles, a good flyer. It's like, yeah, but you could have Malik Monk. I haven't seen him yet, but I'm going to try not to be mean. Riley's sensitive. He's had a lot of Kings pain. You know who you could have had? De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk. You could have had them in the same team. Mm-hmm. Remember the team that was so much fun in college? You could have replicated that for the next 15 years, but you didn't. All right. Loser. MSG.
Ooh.
I wanted to see Malik Monk at MSG.
Yeah.
All of us wanted it. I thought this was going to be the Steph Curry makeup draft. Same spot. Instead of Steph Curry going right ahead of them, this time Monk falls to them, but they took Frankie Nicotine. And he might be really good. I got to be honest. My weak spot with these drafts are always like high school players. They don't have those anymore. But anytime I've been really wrong, it's always been, for the most part, high school players and foreign guys. And who knows? I just know that.
Do you think there's
I know that Malik Monk is good. I'm positive.
Do you think that the choice of Frankie Nicotine over Monk? I pray this was not the case, but I wondered it when they made the selection, if they imagined that Nicotine is going to be better in the triangle than Monk.
Sure.
And that was the reason
Coachable.
for choosing him.
He's a coachable French guy. Yeah. What'd you think of? I'm gonna let you decide winner or loser. Dennis Smith to the Mavericks.
I really like Dennis Smith, and I think the Mavericks organizationally are, top tier, like top 5 franchises in the NBA. And I think Dennis Smith is going to get like every chance to learn. I mean, the combination of Cubes and Carlisle is going to have every resource to flourish. So I'm calling it a winner.
He's one of those guys that it really depended on the team. It's kind of like Tate coming out of college, really depended on where he landed, where his career could have gone either way. Like he's a head case. He's uncoachable. No, but Dennis Smith, that was the rap on him, right? A little uncoachable.
Yeah, but he knows Harrison, so that's good. He's got Yogi Ferrell there. Carlisle will be good with him. I think it's a good fit.
So that's what I worry about, because Carlisle's a curmudgeon.
Yeah,
they were like, oh, Rondo and Carlisle, they're both so smart, they'll get along. And then Rondo and Carlisle are throwing chainsaws at each other. But
Dennis thinks Mark Gottfried's a good coach and he can learn from him. So if he thinks Mark Gottfried can teach him about basketball, then Rick Carlisle definitely can.
What's it like to go from Mark Gottfried to Rick Carlisle?
It's got to be like going from a high school coach to Greg Popovich. I mean, that's just a huge jump.
It's like going from Justin Jackson and Harry Giles to Malik Monk. That's what they're saying. It's that kind of leap. Loser, Rick Carlisle, because if he can't get it going with Dennis Smith, he might be too much of a curmudgeon.
Yeah.
I was kind of deep down hoping Markkanen was going to fall to 9, and then I would have been all the way in on Markkanen. Be like, oh, Dirk gets to raise the next Dirk. But that didn't happen. Dallas having Dennis Smith they really haven't had a guy like that ever. I'm trying to remember.
Like a point guard or
just kind of a high ceiling, low basement, great athlete. I don't think they've had a guy like that.
Josh Howard?
Yeah, but Josh Howard was like 4-year college.
Yeah, I guess that's different. Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be fun. So House, you're in on that pick. I think House is asleep.
I like
House is doing prep work for his food podcast.
I am thinking about dessert. I trying to think of the last time I was pondering, which is part of why I was quiet. The last time Dallas took a freshman. Has Dallas taken a freshman?
Well, they usually don't have a pick.
Right.
And they usually, if they do have a pick, they usually don't make the pick correctly, which leads to stuff like 3 years of everyone telling us how great Roddy Boubois was going to be and how he was untradeable and all that stuff. So this guy actually might be. Usually they've had more success late with like second round or stuff like that. I'm giving myself a winner because I noticed that Zach Collins and Anna Kendrick kind of look alike. I'm just throwing that out there. If you split screen them, internet, Zach Collins, Anna Kendrick look like brother and sister. So I'm a winner because I noticed that. Two more winners. The most loaded draft in 20 years. And these two guys were used in Jalen's player comps, Channing Frye and George Hill in the top 8. George Hill was compared to Frankie Nicotine.
Is that a compliment?
I mean, they had to have been delighted, right? They're just watching the draft, and George Hill's watching. It's the 8th pick, and he gets compared to the 8th pick.
George. Yeah, George. It's thrilling to George. Sure. I was thinking about it from Frankie's point of view.
How? So you're drinking?
It's not
starting to slur his words.
Remember, it's almost 11 o'clock on the East Coast.
Oh, that's true. So you're punchy. You're a little punchy right now.
I am.
Yeah, I was excited. The best draft in 20 years, and Channing Frye and George Hill were the comps for the 7th and 8th pick. So the Lakers took Josh Hart from Villanova.
Yep.
The Cuz and I, we hit every one of our props.
Yeah.
Kentucky had 3 guys.
I'm giving me a loser. I did not get in on any one of those props. They were all great props too.
We had Jason Tatum going before the 5th pick, and Fox going after the 5th pick, parlayed with Kentucky. That was my big one.
I just bet on 2 Carolina
What odds
guys
did you
in
get
the
for
first
that? What odds did you get for that one?
It was like at least 4-1. Against all
Son
odds
of
with
a
Cousin Al.
bitch.
And guess what else I did on Cousin Sal's podcast? We went to the Make Believe Casino. Did you get to do that with
What'd
him?
you play?
Did you get to do that with him?
No.
Yeah, we went to the Make
No, I was
Believe
too
Casino.
busy giving out golf winners. I was
know.
giving golf winners. I
Yeah.
was busy.
He praised you.
What happens at the Make Believe Casino?
He made some make believe props, and I had to pick them because that's what you do at the Captain Morgan's Make Believe Casino. Captain Morgan likes make believe bets. So, winner Malik Monk, we covered that. Loser, Stan Van Gundy, 12th pick, Luke Kennard. I just wanted them to take, like, either trade the pick or take somebody who at least has like a shitload of upside that you could get excited about. They took like just another guy who's going to be a solid player. They have a team of guys ranging from solid to solid. And if I'm a Pistons fan, what am I looking at? My cap space is tied up.
Yes,
Andre
KCP's
Drummond's
replacement. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm losing KCP, who I think I'm fine with that, actually.
Yeah, I think so.
Andre Drummond's my franchise center, who I can't play in the last 4 minutes of games. I've overpaid Reggie Jackson. I think the Pistons are in the conversation for top 4 fan bases you wouldn't want to be a part of, right? Just with the teams.
The Pistons stink. Very happy for the Pistons to stink. The internet loved the Pistons. Remember last year, right before
Oh
we
my
were
God.
doing our over-unders?
Yeah.
The enthusiasm for the Pistons. They're coming up. They got that Reggie Jackson, Drummond pick and roll with SVG. He had this with Dwight Howard and Jameer Nelson. Oh, we're gonna see it all over again. They sucked. They sucked all season. Good riddance. Good riddance, Pistons. Enjoy another shitty 38-win season.
Stan Van Gundy. Tate's upset because Frank Jackson just got picked by the Hornets. They took a Duke guy. We lost Tate. Now nobody's going to be able to put the podcast up. Tate's breaking
He
stuff.
lost, then he won, then he lost.
You have
Look
a
at
Duke
this.
guy. Tate's got a Duke guy in the Hornets.
My least favorite guy.
Oh,
He
his
has
least
Dwight
favorite
Howard
guy,
and a
too.
Duke guy.
Why don't you like him, Tate?
Dwight
What's wrong with him?
He's gonna slap the floor so much in the NBA.
Oh, he's a floor slapper. They took a floor slapper from Duke. That is hilarious. Yeah, Detroit. It's funny because the media loves certain guys, and it's usually the guys that know how to butter up the media, by no coincidence. But like you could see it when David Griffin, when he had him and Dan Gilbert decided to break up, and it was just funny watching all the media people just lose their minds that oh my God, David Griffin, he built the Cavs. You know who built the Cavs? LeBron James. That's who built the Cavs. Are
we going to do 10 seconds on that?
Yeah, but first, let's talk about Hotel Tonight. Have you downloaded the Hotel Tonight app yet? Because
No,
you
I'm
go
not
to all
familiar
these
with
different
Hotel
places on short notice. Hotel
I do.
Tonight's perfect for you.
It's true. All right.
For people not so great at planning ahead, or people who are traveling short notice. Ding and ding for Joe House. An awesome app, Hotel Tonight, helps you find amazing hotel deals at the last minute. Unlike flights, hotel rooms usually get cheaper at the last minute. Hotel Tonight helps hotels sell their unsold rooms and allow them to pass those deals along to you. Cool. Top-rated hotels, over 15,000 awesome partner hotels in 36 countries. Perfect for a spontaneous getaway, a staycation that you wanted a while, or in House's case, a random business trip that you didn't expect. Check out the app. Just put in the city. You can put in the location. Recently, I was looking at a New York City trip. I was putting in all these different New York City locations. It was fun. I was like, oh, Wall Street. Oh, Soho. All these hotels pop up. Good deals.
5-star? You get 5-star out of
You get a
the
lot
app?
of good stuff. And they'll throw like the suites
I
at
need
you,
to-
too. They'll be like, oh, the penthouse suite's
Wow.
available tonight.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I need 5-star. The 5-star has the best lotions.
Sorry. Do we?
That's what you get when you do a podcast with me at 11 o'clock. I can't help it.
All right. Well, The app's name is Hotel Tonight. You can book up to a week in advance. All it takes is 10 seconds, 3 taps, and a swipe. Get in on these killer last-minute deals and download the Hotel Tonight app right now. It is a great app. I'm laughing because House is a degenerate and and has to be edited every once in a while. How are you having 2 podcasts? Now you have 2 different podcasts you can get fired from. Winner, Greenwich Country Day.
Why is that? Who's from that joint?
Donovan Mitchell, 13th pick in the draft.
All right.
Greenwich Country Day graduate, where I was the captain of the basketball team in 1984. Not only got drafted, gave Greenwich Country Day a shout out. Yeah.
That was nice.
Shout out on the air, Greenwich Country Day. Unbelievable. Let's just say he was more athletic in the 9th grade than I was. Another winner, homeschooling. Josh Jackson, homeschooled from the 4th grade on.
Yep.
Or Justin Jackson, sorry.
Yep.
Homeschooled to the 4th grade on. Tate, thoughts on homeschooled Josh Jackson? Justin Jackson.
That was my biggest knock when he committed to Carolina. I was like,
Homeschooled?
I don't want this homeschooled kid. But then I found out that he had like a team that it was like they were all homeschooled. So
Oh, he was on like with the other homeschool people?
yeah, and they would play other homeschooled kids and other normal schools. So like he had like friends. It wasn't like he was at home by himself shooting basketball.
It seems like homeschool. There are more and more homeschooled kids now. When I was in high school and somebody was homeschooled, we thought something was wrong with them. But
Same.
now,
No, I was
oh well, you're way younger than I am. All right, so people still feel that way.
Yeah. When he committed, I was like, I don't want this kid. You know.
Are we gonna get angry emails?
Well, I think homeschool's gotten a lot better. They figured that out. They figured out the social aspect.
We're not homeschool shaming, are we?
No, we're not.
Okay. House thoughts on homeschooling?
Well, I mean, I think the internet. Well, you can have an adequate curriculum, diverse curriculum with YouTube. I mean, what's the difference? You can't keep put in detention for giving your teacher the finger. I mean, that's one thing that doesn't happen anymore.
Well, winner Justin Jackson, homeschooled to the 15th pick. I wonder if that's the highest homeschool anyone's gone in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, like Derrick Rose didn't go to school, so I guess he'd be homeschooled.
Yeah, technically Derrick Rose was homeschooled. Now the Chicago fans were, no, he went to Simeon High. He kind of graduated. Winner, Sixers versus LeVar Ball. The Sixers came at him and made some jokes. Did you see that, House?
Joel Embiid is one hell of a ringleader. I mean,
he's the best.
We need him to be healthy. We need him for all 82 games on social media. I mean, the dude is a lifesaver.
It's 8:02 Pacific time. I have the following offer for Joel Embiid. We would love to give you a podcast at The Ringer. You can have as many of your friends as you want. We'll set it up. We'll produce it for you. We love Joel Embiid. We want to be in the Joel Embiid business. He is easily our favorite athlete at The Ringer. Best sense of humor, best social media account. We just love Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
So yeah, Joel, if you're listening, you want a podcast, get a hold of us. We would love to call it whatever you want. What would be a good name for the Joel Embiid podcast?
I know.
Other than the Joel Embiid show.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, something process related. But then
that's right.
Wesley might be mad if we take still processing.
Maybe it'd be processed.
Yeah.
Well,
Still
that'd
process.
be fun. Joel, think about it, Joel. Winner Harry Giles, 20th pick. 2 catastrophic knee injuries and scored 4 points a game last year.
Yeah.
And now he's the
106 on the
20th
season.
pick. It's pretty good, right, House?
Makes him a millionaire, right? I'm not sure what the slot is, but good for him.
Do you have any other winners and losers? Because I want to move ahead to my biggest loser of the week.
No, I'm ready to talk bigger losers.
Who do you think is the biggest loser of the week? There's only one answer. I hope you get it right.
Let's see here. Who do I think is the biggest loser of the week?
Biggest loser of the week.
Besides the Bulls?
Besides the Bulls. Even the Bulls and all their loserdom could not top this loser of the week.
Dan Gilbert is my loser of the week.
Oh, wow. Why? Let's hear it.
because he single-handedly created a dynamic whereby his team is immediately in flux, and the sustained run of making to the finals is called into question, and he's undermined the single most important player in the league. So that, to me, makes him a pretty big loser.
All fair. Phil Jackson was not just the loser of the week. He lost the year, I think. I think he lost the entire year of 2017 already.
See, he's not the loser of the week to me because he's been such an incomparable loser for, years going on now.
Fair point.
He's soiling his legacy. The real winner, by the way, the biggest winner of the week is Jeannie Buss, because not only did she break up with the biggest loser, Phil Jackson, and thereby crush the hopes of all Knicks fans for as long as that dude is either there or alive, but she also stole the Lakers back from her loser brothers. She changed the fortunes of two of the like 5 most important franchises in the league. Jeannie Buss, humongous winner.
And got Rob Pelinka and Magic to run the team.
Yeah, huge winner.
Although I didn't love the D'Angelo Russell trade. What'd you think of that one?
It was the price that she had to pay to get,
Lonzo
to have a
and
shot at Paul George.
Right.
Right? I mean, so I love Russell. I think he's terrific. And that was the first good Nets move in how many years now?
Yeah. When they drafted Brooke Lopez?
Probably when they drafted Brooke Lopez. That was a good draft pick.
I remember Charlotte took DJ Augustine. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah.
Over Brooke Lopez?
Yeah.
That was terrible at the time.
Uh-huh.
Almost every time with the draft, when something feels and seems and appears to be terrible at the time, it ends up being terrible.
Yeah, like Adam Morrison, number 3.
Yeah, when Minnesota took the 2 point guards ahead of Steph Curry,
Yeah,
and I was doing my
Flynn,
running diary.
Yeah, and Ricky Rubio.
It was horrible at the time, and I wrote about how horrible it was. When Hashim Thabit went second
to the Grizzlies, yeah.
that was horrible in the moment. Sometimes you just kind of know. All right, Phil Jackson. So it's really incredible because he's ruined Carmelo's trade value. He's just demolished it to the point that now there's rumors that they might just buy him out. Like that, he's so untradeable, and teams are so unconvinced. Any of the teams, he has the no trade clause on top of everything else. But anybody that might even want to trade for him, they don't want any part of him. They don't want to give up assets for him because they feel now like he's going to get bought out. I can't really remember in this century, because it happened a lot in the 70s, 80s, and 90s when we were growing up. I can't remember in this century somebody just willingly ruining the trade value of somebody as good as Carmelo. Can you, House?
That's just like one example. The gross incompetence of this dude. So the thing that's truly stunning to me is he was at the highest of highs. He had an unparalleled legacy.
Yeah.
You begrudgingly had to include him in the discussion along with Red of the all-time greatest basketball minds in the history of this league. And he, through whatever combination of mental infirmity, delusion, narcissism, I don't know what the psychological cocktail is or was, that mother effer is off his ass, and he's crushed his legacy. It makes you question everything about that preceded the last 5 years. He's ruined this. He's been way, way, way worse than Isaiah Thomas ever was. He's been disgraceful in every decision he's made, the process that he's used for the decision, his approach to the game, his understanding of the game. It's been one humongous shit sandwich, and I love it because I hate the Knicks. So SMD, Knicks fans.
See, I was going to cut in there. There was a couple spots, and I was going to say, but enough about Trump. How do you feel about Phil Jackson? But then you ended up with the Knicks fan, so I couldn't do it. It's incredible. Porzingis. Ask yourself this. How many people could protect the rim in a finals game while also making 40 to 45% of their threes? Conceivably, just hypothetically on paper, how many human beings fit that bill?
It's Porzingis and Lauri Markkanen. That's the only two I can come up with.
The correct answer, 2 of the players are on Golden State, Durant and Draymond. Porzingis. And eventually Anthony Davis, once he starts making threes, he hasn't really made them consistently yet. And eventually Giannis, when Giannis takes over the league and becomes rim protecting, 3-point shooting guy who dunks from half court. That's the entire list. You can't trade that guy. I don't care if he strained his Achilles. You put him in a terrible position. He was playing with no point guards ever, and then when you finally got him a point guard, it's Derrick Rose, who's a fucking ball hog. And then Carmelo's a ball-stopping ball hog. I watched the Knicks. I know I didn't watch as much Knicks as somebody like Jason Concepcion, but I watched when Porzingis was hot in the fourth quarter, and Melo and Rose would just freeze him out. They wouldn't give him the ball. He's like fire shooting out of his ass, and he's just standing in the corner. They're ignoring him. It would be an incredible mistake to trade him, and I'm saying that as somebody who has my favorite team has a chance to get him, and I'd actually feel bad because you just shouldn't trade somebody like that. It's a farce. It's terrible. It's terrible. There's nothing worse, as you know, as a Washington Redskins fan. There's nothing worse than when somebody completely incompetent is in charge of your team. I mean, there's a lot of things worse, actually. There's life things worse. I'm saying as a sports fan, the worst is when you have somebody terrible in charge of your team and you can't do anything about it. And that's where the Knicks have been really for 20 years.
It's very unfair. I have 2 very quick things to say. Shout out to Mike Lombardi, his column about the LA Rams, very timely on this point.
Yep.
And I felt like you could easily control and find and replace Rams with Deadskins, and you could write the exact same article about the Dan Snyder and the Deadskins. But the other thing, I just want to apologize to the Knicks fans. I don't really hate the Knicks fans, and they don't really deserve the sustained run of just inedible shit sandwich that they've been served up. But that's what happens with these legacy, kid owners.
No, you that was more of a New York-based rant, which is why I let it go.
Yeah.
You're from Washington. You're conditioned to hate New York. I'm from Boston. I'm conditioned to hate New York. I feel bad for the Knicks fans. This is like,
me too.
First of all, MSG is probably my favorite non-Boston place to watch a basketball game or even watch it on TV.
Sensational.
That's why tonight hurt. I really, man, if the Magic just got Ivan Robb. Poor Evan Robb, Tate.
Yeah.
Could have gone like 16th last year. Now he went 35th.
Well, Jalen tried to get him to come out with him.
Yeah.
He was like, come out with me. And he didn't.
Now that's a good pick at 35. The Magic. Maybe the Magic know what they're doing.
Oh, it says no, he's going to Memphis.
Oh, he's going to Memphis.
To
That
Memphis.
makes sense.
That's the Zach Randolph replacement,
Oh,
right?
man.
Yeah.
That's a classic Grizzlies pick.
He's
Good
good.
pick. I like that pick.
Verno's probably. Let's see what Verno has to say.
Oh, Verno loves that one. I love Ivan Robb. Yeah. Anything else, House?
It's time for me to go to bed.
Okay.
Clearly.
Thanks to Carvana, they unsuck the experience of going to the dealership. Browse, buy, trade in, finance your next vehicle online from the comfort of your home. Choose as soon as next day delivery or pick up your vehicle from the world's first coin-operated car vending machine. House, go see the coin-operated car vending machine and report back. Wave bye-bye.
I'm going to take a picture.
Wave bye-bye to buyer's remorse with their 7-day money-back guarantee. Go to Carvana.com/BS, Carvana.com for the new way to buy a car. Carvana.com/BS. Thanks to Stamps.com. Buy and print official U.S. postage for any letter, any package, any class of mail using your own computer and printer. They'll send you a digital scale, automatically calculate exact postage. Don't go to the post office. Sign up for Stamps.com. Use promo code BS for a 4-week trial plus postage, plus a digital scale, plus the 15th and 20th picks in the draft with no long-term commitments. click on the microphone at the top of the Stamps.com homepage. Type in BS. We did 4 podcasts this week. House, I also banked 2 podcasts with 2 celebrity guests. I did 6 podcasts in 4 days. I think that might be a new
look
record.
At you go.
Yeah, might be a new record. But
I mean, you are the pod father.
listen, the Podfather's got to protect his corner every once in a while. But
that's it.
Really
That's
good
right.
week of podcasts. Don't sleep on the NBA stuff. I'm sure is probably not going to age that well this week, other than this one. But the Malcolm Gladwell podcast had a lot of good stuff in there. So if you missed that one, go back and listen to that one. And don't forget to listen to
Yeah, he talked bad about golf. I'm calling him out on this week's Shack House.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you're gonna go.
Sorry, Malcolm.
You're gonna respectfully disagree with his country club thoughts
That's right.
on the next Shack House.
You're right about that.
And then next
That's
week,
a fact.
House's new food podcast. We buried the lead.
Yeah, Daddy.
Food podcast.
Please come hungry. Please come hungry. That's not the name of it. I'm just inviting everybody, all listeners, arrive hungry for this podcast. I promise we're going to deliver the goods.
House, I have some bad news. We traded down with your food podcast. We're not going to do it. Instead, we're going to do a milkshake podcast and a French fry podcast. The Trailblazers offered us 2 worst podcasts for it, so we're going to do that instead.
That makes sense. You know, the millennials that work for you, all they do is talk you into these bad outcomes. You know, the first thing I'm going to do is go on. The very first podcast is going to be about millennial food.
Oh, you should do that.
I don't. Oh, believe me. You don't think I'm telling the truth? The hashtag when I woke up this morning was hashtag millennial food. I don't even know what that is.
What is millennial food, Tate?
I don't know.
Tate, are you a millennial?
I don't identify with them. No.
Yeah, Tate's from the South. He doesn't deal with those people.
We're just happy to make it out.
He knows where his Bojangles is at.
Millennial food. Maybe that's the first topic on your podcast.
It is. I assure you.
I am not the guest on the first House Food podcast, but I'm definitely coming on the second one because we have to argue about a bunch of different things. I'm very excited about this.
Yeah.
House, thanks for staying up late for us. Thanks so much to everybody at The Ringer. Check out all the great videos and all the great draft stuff that we put up yesterday. And then on Friday, we have a whole bunch of draft grades. Jonathan Charks was grading stuff as we did the draft. Chris Ryan, Kevin O'Connor did a bunch of videos. We have some big pieces coming tomorrow. And we are ending this at 8:15 on Thursday night, West Coast time. Oh, wait a second. The Celtics are coming up. House, let's stay one more minute for the Celtics pick. Can we do that?
Yeah, I promise not to snore.
The 76ers took Jonah Bolden.
Jonathan Charks loves this guy out of Australia.
Charks did love this guy.
Yeah, big fan. Said he's a lot of upside. Said Jonah Bolden. He told me Jonah Bolden was just as good as Tony Bradley, which I scoffed at the thought.
Now the Celtics are up. What good guy? Are there any Ivan Rabb guys left? Any good ones? I saw Frank Mason got taken.
What about PJ Dozier? How do you feel about PJ Dozier?
I don't like initial names.
Jason Hart.
Jason Hart's gone.
Hasn't been picked yet.
Who? Josh Hart?
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he got drafted
Josh
30th.
Hart.
Jason Hart got drafted 8 years ago.
Yeah, Lakers got him.
That's what you get. 11-15. That's what you get out of me.
House, did you know my dad watched all 6 seasons of Game of Thrones in 2 weeks?
That's pretty incredible. Did he stay awake for all of them?
Yeah, they have a puppy. They got this puppy, and he's got to stay downstairs with the puppy. And he just started watching it on the iPad, and he was banging out like 4 a day.
That's outstanding. That's a great way to watch it. They start to feel like movies because each episode has that epic vibe to it.
He had some great comments. I'm actually going to have him on the pod to discuss some of his thoughts. He had some hot takes.
Well, yeah, I'd like to hear what he thought about Khaleesi in her first season.
So one of the things he did say was, "Boy, there's a lot of nudity on this show." And then he goes, "And the women have great bodies." That was another take from my retired father.
Doc.
The doc.
Doc.
Doc, really. Speaking of people who are about to fall asleep, I think they need to get Wilbon some sugar. Poor Wilbon. Uncle Mike, he's usually in bed by now.
He's an East Coaster like me. Can't hold it against him.
Jalen's still going strong, though.
Yeah.
He probably had some Cheetos. Jalen somehow lost like 40 pounds, but still eats Cheetos because he always had this Cheetos.
He looks great.
Yeah.
He was on this whole Cheetos thing. I like the Cheetos too.
I used to get him coffee, and whenever he tried to like shake my hand,
He'd have orange stuff on his hands. Yeah, that was his thing. So here are the guys left for the Celtics. Isaiah Hartenstein, best available. Juwan Evans. Oh, the SMU kid. People like him too, right?
Yeah, Simmy. Yeah.
Yeah. Jordan Bell.
Yeah, I think Jordan Bell.
Can we take Jordan Bell?
Yeah, you'd be excited for that. Yeah.
All right, House. This will be the pick is in, House. The pick is in. House is asleep, but the pick is in. Oh, that was another bet we like. Nigel Williams-Goss. We like that
Gonzaga.
one too. It was like whether he'd get drafted or not.
Yeah, he's like 59, 60 range, right? Just happy for him to get. Even Thornwell. Take Sindarius Thornwell, so you don't have to re-sign.
Is he available?
Yeah, he hadn't been drafted.
I like him, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, House.
like Thornwell.
Congratulations on Tim Frazier.
I love Tim Frazier.
You know what? We've been dying for a legit backup point guard. The
So when are you
Celtics
gonna
beat
get
the
one?
Wizards because, I mean, considering.
Oh, hold on. The pick's in.
the
The Celtics select. Oh, I think they took the SMU
Semi.
guys. Reading
Semi.
lips. Semi.
Great pick.
Oh, I'm ahead of you.
It's a good one, right?
Yeah,
We
it's
like
good.
that pick?
It's a great pick.
She've gone the first round?
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought he was going to go 22 to the Nets.
what a great one to end on, House.
Congratulations.
Oh, he's got kind of the Marcus Smart hair going a little bit.
He's
That was
like
the early-
he's like Jay Crowder a little bit, but he's a better shooter.
Oh, does that mean my dad's going to be grumbling about him?
No, he's a great shooter.
All right, House. Thanks for staying up late for us, even though it makes me sad that late for you is 11:20 on a Thursday night. But thank you anyway. Oh, he transferred from
I'm
Duke.
an
No
adult.
wonder
What do you
Tate likes him.
Yeah.
This guy transferred from Duke, House.
I love Duke defectors.
House, good luck with your podcast next week.
All right. Thanks, fellas.
All right, bye.